Let's just start things off here, and let's talk about your last fight at BXC.
Absolutely, it was a big fight. I went in there, I guess, being very respectful of a well-respected submission artist. So I came in kind of with the idea to keep it standing early on. And then about the first 20 seconds of the fight, landed an overhand right and actually broke my hand with that very first punch. So, I don't know, it ended up being a very entertaining fight. Ended up submitting a jiu-jitsu black belt in a guillotine choke, kind of a modified, they call it a rapatine. But anyway, it was a good win, a submission over a submission specialist, so I was very happy with it.
Okay, man, and moving on here, you were 2-1 in Strikeforce. Can we expect a return to the promotion?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just kind of a timing thing. They had a long gap there without any fights, so I decided to take one outside of organization, which just, worked out for me as far as improving the career, making a little bit of side money.
Sure.
With that said, it's kind of a double-edged sword where if you lose that fight, you're going to get cut. So you can get the experience, or you can get, if you don't show up that evening prepared to fight, you can get the axe.
Yeah, for sure, man. Okay, so we've been talking to a lot of Strikeforce guys. A lot of guys are getting frustrated. How tough has it been?
It's been real tough, man. I mean, it was always tough with sponsorships and getting fights scheduled, and all the different things that are going on between UFC and Strikeforce. I know people just want to fight, but it's expected. I still think it's an honor to be in Strikeforce and to be under a contract with those guys. But I'm not going to let that hold up my career. Like I said, I'm going to fight outside of organization if I'm not getting fights quick enough. But at the end of the day, I'm still a Strikeforce fighter. I'm very proud to say it.
And is there one guy out there that you would just love to fight?
One that I love to fight? Goodness. That's a short list for me, man. It usually gets personal as far as people that I haven't fought yet. There's no one out there that I'm really chomping at the bit. Anybody that improves my career. But I'd definitely like to get another fight with Villante and Devin Cole. Those are the two losses on my record, and both were a little suspect if you talk to the refs and the different promoters. Those are both two fights that ended under a minute that I would like to have back, and would probably end exactly the opposite way. It would just be under a minute for my victory, like I usually do it.
Hey, man, do you fight better when there's a bit of a rivalry at stake?
Yeah, I think so. And with that rivalry, it just makes me train harder. So this last fight, I actually trained harder than any fight that I've had in the past, just because I was coming off the loss. It was controversial. I know I didn't train quite like I should have. But these guys kind of made it a little bit personal a few different times, especially when it's kind of American wrestler jiu-jitsu versus Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You want to represent those American wrestlers and the up and coming, and show, hey, there's other people than just Brazilians that can do jiu-jitsu and can submit people and can perform. So that was a lot of pressure going into this fight, was to, out-grapple a jiu-jitsu specialist and show that American wrestlers can stick in there and do it. So, yeah, I like the pressure. It makes me fight better, for sure.
Okay, man, you're a top middleweight. Is it tough cutting down to middleweight for you?
It was definitely an interesting first time, but I was surprised at how easily I got down there. I hadn't been that light since I was like a senior in high school, so even through my college career, I wrestled 197. So it was a bit of weight to cut, but I felt great getting down there. I felt better sparring, a little bit light too, so it's good for me.
Okay, man, so now you're at middleweight. Let's get your opinion. We got Kennedy versus Rockhold coming up at Strikeforce in a few weeks here. Who you got?
Oh, man, I'm going to have to go for Kennedy. I think it's going to be a battle. I respect Rockhold. I think he's got some skill sets, but I've trained with Kenny a little bit at Jackson's. I think he's a tough dude. He's a savvy vet, and it's going to be an awesome fight. I'd have to give, a little bit of athleticism to Rockhold, but I think Kennedy's going to go out there and gut it out. He's a big, strong dude, and I think at the end of the day, he's going to win on sure heart.
Okay, do you think Kennedy wins the decision here? You think he's going to use his wrestling?
I think it goes to a decision, or he gets him maybe tired towards the end and can win with a submission. But I would see a decision victory. Kind of grinds it out and gets a decision win.
Okay, let's head on over to the UFC. And this weekend in Las Vegas, Nevada, we got Sonnen versus Anderson Silva 2. Who you got?
In my heart, I really want Sonnen, even though I know there's a lot of people that hate him, but I got to love the wrestler that goes out there. I'm actually going to pick Silva with the win. I think the last time was kind of a one-time special. I don't think Sonnen's going to be able to go out there and perform like he did in their last encounter. But I'm kind of hoping he does. I hope for a good fight, and I hope Sonnen pulls it out. But my money we would bet on Silva for this one.
Okay, earlier we talked about some of the guys you faced. You didn't get the win when you thought you should have. What's your opinion on MMA judging?
Judging? The judging's tough, man. As you can see, I try to eliminate the judges from the whole procedure. I think that's the way it should move. Like, the judges are obviously necessary, but I think maybe, started like American Idol where people call in and say who they think won. So, like the Ultimate Fighter show that's going on, have it right now, like the fans decide. Something goes to a decision, have the fans call in and say which one I think everybody won, Then you get the people's champ for sure. Judges, like I said, let's get rid of them. Judge refs, I wish neither were involved in a fight. I think it should be a corner in their fighter. If the corner wants to throw the towel in or the fighter's completely unconscious, then send somebody in to stop it. But other than that, I don't think judges or refs should be involved in the sport.
Okay, we've been talking about a lot of issues on the show as far as judging goes. What's your opinion on instant replay in the sport and open scoring? So after every round, the fighters would be able to see on a scoreboard who won that round.
I don't think the fighters should be able to see the scoreboard who won. I think they should leave that up to, end of the fight. Like, how hard do you want to work? Do you think you have the win? Do you think you're behind? I think they should leave some suspense there. As far as the instant replay, I definitely think that should be part of it. If somebody gets, clocked in the back of the head 6 times and they give the win to the other dude, or they want to stop and look for something along those lines, I think absolutely. If somebody gets hit in the head 5 times and he still wants to keep going, they say, okay, he got hit in the head, illegal blows, deduct a point, he wants to still keep going, let's keep the fight going. So I think instant replay, it should be brought. Why not?
Okay.
Get the right call.
Yeah, for sure, man. And final question here. What would you consider your signature win in your MMA career?
God, my signature win. This last one, I guess, would be a signature win. The biggest thing for me is I always make these personal, man. Everybody says don't make fighting emotional or personal. You try to keep it a sport. You try to, and make it as sporting as possible. But at the end of the day, you're in a fist fight. You're in a street fight, and kind of get a little bit personal. So it's not a sport to get your feelings hurt. It's a sport to go out there and show a lot of emotion, and that's me. I mean, you saw in my last fight when I choked somebody out. I like to celebrate. I like to get crazy, and you want to make things personal. You want it Brazil versus USA. You want to talk behind the scenes. I love it. Keep it going. Make it personal. My fights are going to be personal. They're going to be emotional. I'm going to try to end people early.
Hey, man, want to throw out your Facebook or Twitter?
Just find me at Trevor Smith on Facebook.com. Probably easiest is just Trevor Smith MMA at Twitter.com.
Thanks, man.
Hey, I appreciate your time. Thanks, Mark.
Okay, see ya.